Hey guys, I'm Tom the Tech Chap. Hey guys, I'm Tom the Tech Chap, and it's a bit of a blustery but very autumnal day here in England. I thought it would be a good opportunity to test these three cameras. We've got the iPhone 12, the standard one, not the Pro, the Pixel 5, and also the Galaxy S20 FE. And what makes this really interesting is that they're all in the same kind of price ballpark. In fact, the iPhone 12 mini, which will share the exact same camera as this, is $100 cheaper, which is exactly the same price as the S20 FE and Pixel 5, so all around $700 or so. Don't worry, I'll still be doing a fancy Note 20 Ultra versus iPhone 12 Pro Max comparison as well, but this is a slightly more affordable option. We're recording in 4K on all three right now, and if we do a little bit of a stabilization test as I walk down these stairs and try not to slip because it's very slippery, hopefully you can get an idea of how they handle my walking. You can see my shadow down there with this trident set up with the three phones. So this is with the main lens, but then if I pull out to the ultra wide on all three, you can see how they compare. Sarah's being very patient as I'm talking to myself and walking with three phones, which doesn't look weird at all. But what do you think? Which one takes better video? Alright, so let's look at a few photos side by side. I even managed to get a rainbow in the background for this one. So starting with the main lens, but then if we switch to the ultra wide, if you look at the red car to the lower left, you can see the Pixel 5 is the least, well, wide, but the S20 FE does have a bit more of a fisheye look to it. Then if we zoom in, which of course only the S20 has a physical telephoto lens, so this is at 3 times and then 10 times. So of course I'm having to crop the iPhone and the Pixel's image in a bit to match with the S20. And finally 30 times zoom, and I think it's pretty clear that the S20 wins here. Let's do one more going through the lenses, and starting with the ultra wide and then going to the main lens. Just look at the colors on that tree, definitely autumn vibes for this video. Jumping into a 10 times zoom now, and there's already a pretty stark difference between them. And finally 30 times zoom, which again goes to the S20 FE, but surprisingly the Pixel isn't too bad at all, and it's much better than the iPhone even though neither have a telephoto lens. In terms of colors, well, if you like vibrant and a little bit oversaturated, then you'll want the S20 FE. It does look good, but it's by far the least natural looking. Again, just look at that blue sky. The Pixel and the S20 FE are really at opposite ends of the spectrum. And I think the iPhone can offer a good balance between the two. I really do love making these camera comparisons because while I'm often just pixel peeping or finding the tiniest differences, I mean on the whole all these phones take fantastic shots. But for this one, I don't think the S20 fares quite as well. It's not as sharp, it's not as well exposed, and both the Pixel and the iPhone are just higher quality. Just quickly, a big thank you to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. And if you're a regular on my channel, you know that I work with these guys a lot. It's genuinely the only VPN I use. So I mainly use the Chrome extension and the app on my phone, but you can get Surfshark on pretty much every device. It helps prevent ad tracking, malware, and all that bad stuff. And I've also used it recently for watching HBO Max and US Netflix here in the UK. Plus they have a 4.5 out of 5 Trustpilot rating. So click the link below or use the code TechChap at the checkout to get a whopping 83% off and 3 months extra free. So why not give Surfshark VPN a try? But anyway, back to Swanee here, and you can really see the iPhone's smart HDR3 kicking in, which not everyone loves. It evens out the shadows and the highlights to the point that it can look a little bit flat and lacking in contrast. Now my wife Sarah is very kindly modeling for me here, and I think I'm leaning towards the Pixel in this shot. The iPhone is a close second, but the S20 always goes towards the more contrasty, more saturated look, and it's not my favorite. Okay, let's have a quick coffee break, and for this one, I want you to guess which phone took which photo. To me, the left one looks the most vibrant, perhaps with a little over sharpening, the center one's a little bit more muted, and the right one seems like a good balance. Alright, so do you reckon you know which one is which? Well, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Did you get it right or completely wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Let's do one more of those because I am aware that whatever phone I put as, the middle in this comparison may draw your eye and it won't be fair to the other two. So the order is random again, but which one do you think looks the best? Which is your favorite? Okay, ready and go. But what about portrait shots? Well, I've reset the order of the phones here, so no more guessing, but straight away you'll notice the Pixel can't use its ultra-wide lens. So you do have a little bit less flexibility with portraits, as the iPhone and the S20 can use either lens. By default, the Pixel also goes for a heavier bokeh, but you can adjust this. Now, I actually posted this shot on Instagram. I'm at the Tech Chat, by the way, if you don't follow me, and most of you guys in the comments agreed that the Pixel did come out on top here. The iPhone 12 just looks really artificial. You seem to lose a bit of the depth and character of an image with that aggressive auto HDR that's just evening everything out. Another example, and it's a similar look across all three. I'm not a huge fan of the S20's portraits though. The colors are just way too saturated for my liking, but I guess if it's going straight on Instagram, then maybe that's what you want. Okay, let's switch to some low light photos, although we're not using their night modes yet. And the iPhone shot here is the brightest, but the white balance has turned my ambery yellow light into a purely white light, which has kind of changed the tone of the whole shot. The Pixel 5 and the S20 are more true to life, but it's interesting how they're all quite different. And it is good to see that with all three we can use night mode with the ultra-wide. So this photo was in almost pitch darkness, like I couldn't see anything on the screen when I took this. So I think the Pixel does have the most detail if you look closely at the petals on the flower, but the iPhone, while softer, is much, much brighter. One more outside, and again using night mode, and actually they all came out really well. The iPhone is the brightest on the outside, but then the lamps and the inside lights are the most blown out, but it does go to show that you really can't go wrong with any of these phones. Now, I do appreciate the Pixel is the only phone with a dedicated astrophotography mode, but on a tripod in my back garden, no edits, no extra lenses or anything, this 3.5 minute multiple long exposure really is stunning. And actually, if I apply a small color edit to all three to get the most out of them, although the S20 can't really keep up. But yeah, if you're a stargazer, then the Pixel is absolutely the one for you. Almost done now, I promise, but let's switch to the front camera for a few selfies, starting in low light, and firstly without, and then with night mode. Again, it's good to see that we can use night mode with the selfie camera as well, and I think the iPhone's done really well here. Sticking with selfies, but this time in portrait mode, and I think both the iPhone and the Pixel do a great job here, but in slightly different ways. If the iPhone is Instagram me, then the Pixel is reality me. The S20 FE doesn't do so well here. The colors are off, I look somewhat beautified even though it's all turned off, and yeah, it doesn't quite keep up. But what about front-facing video? Well, I've got the S20 FE and the iPhone shooting at 4K, because they can from the selfie camera. The Pixel is still limited to 1080p. But in terms of quality, we've got quite a bright background here, also the colors of the leaves and the detail of my face. What do you think? How do they compare? I'm also switching between the microphones on all three. You'll see the little speaker icon, so you can get an idea if you were using this phone to vlog or whatever, take videos, what the sound quality would be like. I can see the Pixel has the narrowest field of view, and actually this is just at 1x, but I can punch into 1.4, although it's a little bit close for my liking. So you are getting more in the frame on the iPhone and the S20, and also that 4K video as well. So what do you think in terms of just quality? You'll be sick of my face by the end of this, I'm telling you. Extra points to the iPhone that we can also shoot with Dolby Vision HDR with the front camera. Again, you'll need to watch it back on your iPhone or a Dolby Vision compatible display or TV. But if that is something that you're interested in, having your fancy high dynamic range, then yeah, I guess that's extra points. So what do you reckon? Which camera do you think came out on top here? Let me know in the comments below. For me, I think the iPhone and the Pixel are kind of neck and neck. They each have their own qualities. But I do feel the S20 FE falls behind a little bit though. It's still very good, but it would be my third choice here. If I absolutely had to pick one, then I think I would probably go with the Pixel 5. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to hit that little subscribe button below. I've got loads more videos coming soon, and don't forget to check out Surfshark VPN. Check out the link below to get 83% off and 3 months extra free, and it's also fully refundable for 30 days if you're not super happy with it. But I use it all the time, and I can easily recommend it.